Hey folks, welcome back to Crappy Craft and Other Ridiculous and Wonderful Things. I am still in a craft zone. It's a way to kind of get things out of my head. And so I hyper-focused today and I've created a couple t-shirts and now what I'm doing is I have a roll of removable wallpaper, removable vinyl. And so it's just like the removable wallpaper, but it's vinyl that you can, we can use with the Cricut, which we could use on the vinyl wallpaper too. We might do that someday because I still have some left over from the dining room. But anyways, so I want to make these tentacles, if you can see them right here. And when the original SVG or the pattern was like more like a square, like a 12 by 12, but I wanted to take up more space because I wanted it on my wall. And so with my Air 2, I have an Air Explorer 2. So what I can do is I can go up to, I can use a mat 12 by 24 inches. Some of the other machines, so like the newer machines are using smart vinyl where you don't have to use a mat. And I've heard different things, like some are like, oh, it's amazing, and others are like, I'm going back to the mats. And then there's also, so those are the threes, and so that's like the Explorer 2, the Explorer 3 and the Maker 3. But then there's also the it's the Venture, which is supposed to like be more like a commercial grade, like it goes really fast, it can go really wide. But I've never seen one. If I were to put that on my wish list for my birthday, that would be a thing. That's okay. Anyways, so what I've done is, because I want this to take up more space, I wanted to change it. So remember how I said it was like square? So what you have to do is I went into where it says more. And so when you click on the more on design space, it comes up with these options. Now I'm using a computer, so it might be different when you look at like from an iPad screen. But what I did was I hit that button there, it's a lock, and I unlock the proportions. If I do not unlock the proportions, then when I go to make it longer, it's going to make it wider because remember it's like a square. So what I did instead is I unlocked it. I knew that the widest I could go was 11.5, so I went 11.5 on the width. And then I just started messing with the length. And so I think I can get away with 16 and it's not really making the thing look ridiculous. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll be right back with, we're going to go ahead and put it on the larger mat, but I need a place where I have a longer table, so I'll see you in a second. All right. So one of the really cool things I like about the Cricut vinyl is on the back it's got marks. It's like a graph on the back, and it's actually by 1/2 inch. So that's kind of cool. We know that it's 11.5, this is 12, by 16 inches. And so what I'm going to do is, and like not all of the vinyl does that, but the Cricut has this on here. What I'm going to do on my handy Cricut cutter, I know that I want 16, and it goes to 16, but I really want to do an extra, probably an inch. I would rather waste an inch and not need it than, yeah. So just to be safe. So what I'm going to do is actually let's do this. I'm going to go to where it says an inch, and then there's a line here. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull this. This is almost the end of the roll because I've already made something else. So when I go to this line to this end, which is 16 inches, I am good to go, and I just make sure that it's leaning against the wall there, and then when I cut it, it'll be nice and straight. And then I just go ahead and close this up and put it away. Oh yeah. Okay, so I've already done one of these. There's two. So I did the first one. So this is kind of what ours is going to look like. Oh yeah. And this is temporary vinyl, so it actually can go on the wall. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. Remember when we were doing, it's not this one. Remember when, so you might want to keep track of that. When we were doing the iron, it's the shiny side goes down. But on this, we want the color to be up. And we know that the way that it's going to be laying on the design space is it's going to have, we're going to start at the top. And so I do try to get this kind of in line with the ruler guide here because it'll stick. I have a standard grip, which I think will work out great. If you do this right, then, oh yeah, it'll be just right. So I'm going to go ahead and I try to not, I don't want to have like a bubbles and stuff like that. And like I'm going to use this sprayer, and so that'll take out some of those bubbles and some of those air pockets. But the least you have, the better it is. That's what I'm like I've been doing a lot of crafts, so I should wash my hair off. It's got little glue pieces and stuff on it, but so I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this is on nice and solid. And so the color is on top, and you can see it goes actually just over 17. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this in to cut, and then we'll be back. Exciting! All right. Look at this. All done. While I was cutting, I was doing some other stuff. Okay, so one of the things I like about this is that I like to keep it on the mat. You can just take this off, this blue, because this is the carrier paper. But see, as I'm pulling the blue, it's leaving the design on. So sometimes when the design is all curly, I can do that just to help it. Remember, this is a lot like, it's very sticky. So I try not to stick it onto itself because I've ruined designs doing that. But this is a really simple design. Wow. Look at that. Oh. So then all you gotta do is take the little, I like to have the extra light, mostly because my eyes are getting old. And then I go ahead and there's little holes cut. And I take my handy dandy weeder, and this is sticky again, so remember you're going to pull it up, and then you're going to, and as it gets up here, it's going to get a little bit thicker, because these are the tentacles that I printed, remember? And so it's going to get a little bit thicker. And I'll show you this in just a second, because I just wanted to do a little bit here. I'm not going to bore you by doing the whole thing in front of you. And sometimes they don't pull off very well, but very sticky. Remember, this is temporary vinyl, so that's pretty cool. So see, it's already starting to look like something. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this, and then I'll come back and we'll put it on the wall. Oh yes, I'm so excited. This is thrilling. Just hang on. Okay, so now I've got both of our things out, and so to put it on the wall we have to do something, right? We don't want to just peel it off and put it on the wall, because then something can happen to it. So there's what's called transfer paper, and you know how I'm always saying, oh, use Kroger brand. Well, it's also expensive. Well, if you find it on sale, it's not too bad, I think. But this is contact paper, which you can also use, and I feel like, because this is really not really tough material, like it actually comes up pretty easy. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this. This also has lines. Ooh! And then what happens is, so like if you've ever bought stuff from even a dollar store that you're going to put up on your window, and see how easy it picks up? When I rolled this to get it off, it rolled to get off the mat, and so that's why I don't like to have rolls or bubbles or anything there. Okay, so it's kind of like that. You know how like you take the piece off to put it on the wall, and so that's what the contact paper is. Now with the contact paper, I wish it was easier, and maybe it's just me, but You don't want it wrinkled or anything, you want it nice and flat. I have this handy dandy. Oh, I don't know what my big one is. So I have this. I have a bigger one. I just don't know where she is. So anyway, so what I'm going to do is, actually I'm going to start at the bottom here. That's a great idea. Sometimes I surprise myself. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this flat so that it's going to be on here. I want it to not be bubbled either. See, I'm gently kind of putting it on. Because if you have to lift it up, you may be lifting up. And what's nice about this pattern is it's all one thing. It's all one piece. It's not like a whole bunch of little tiny baby pieces. But if we were to have something else that would be a bunch of little pieces, then we would have to be really careful putting this on. So this isn't doing too bad. It's still got lots of lumps and bumps. And you can do, I prefer to have my bigger, what you call it, so you can do this as you're putting it on, and that helps a little bit. I'm not sure how this is going to work, because it was doing pretty good. Now, this is old, because remember how I said I don't like to, so I'm still using my stuff from years ago, back when my kids was in school. It's been a long time. I feel like I'm 100 years old compared to that time now. Anyways, yeah, this did not go out very well. So the good news is that it's, like I said, so the pattern is pretty good, so I don't think we'll have to worry too much. So anyways, so let's pretend that it's all straight. I mean, I can keep doing this and I don't think it's going to do much. And again, it doesn't matter too much because, and again, if this was just like a whole bunch of pieces, that'd be one thing. So then when you take this up off of the carrier sheet, then you're going to have this, right? Uh-oh. Make sure all these little pieces are still, so it's not little pieces, but it's real thin over here where the tentacles are. It's not going into the contact paper. There we go. Sometimes if you just get it started, that makes all the difference in the world. So something to remember, it's sticky. And so, oops, one of my tentacles. Ooh, so you don't want it to stick on itself. Yeah. But I think because of the way that it sits, that it'll be on the wall, it'll be okay. So let's go ahead and practice one. Oh yeah. Because remember, it's removable. So we're going to go over here. And remember how I said I really like coastal. So really, you could do this on one of those mirrors. I would love, or windows. I would love to get like a mirror or window that nobody wants to use, and do that. So I'm still going to need my handy dandy scraper. And let's say we want to put this here. Then you would just scrape it on the wall. And I didn't do a very good job, but I am just kind of trying to do it quickly. So as you can see, it'll actually be on the wall. So I'm going to go ahead and scrape this on. And then fix whatever I didn't get right because of the contact paper. It really is very old contact paper. Oh, look at, you got such a good side of my beautiful arms. Somebody else says you need a hand. I'm like, no, I got extra arms. Okay, here we go. Yeah. So this is going to come off pretty easy, so I don't have to worry about like the paint or anything. I'm careful on the removable stuff that I use and the paint that I put it on, because I don't want to have to something that need repainted or take the finish off. So I had a really pretty sign up at the last place I lived. So really I'm just kind of smoothing this over with my fingers now. But if you do this right the first time, you won't have to. You'll just go ahead and put this on the way that we did. All right, almost done. See, that one I gotta fix. I thought this might go cute here because of the window. Like I said, if I had a window, I would do something like that. All right, what do you think? You like it? All right. So there you go. Don't forget to like and don't forget to share and subscribe if you haven't already. See ya.